The Muslim Caliphates of the Middle Ages. The Middle Ages was a period that witnessed the rise of some of the greatest Muslim empires in the Old World. During this period, there were numerous developments in science, art, cultural works, religion, and economy that ensured the empire's survival. Scholars from various backgrounds in the Islamic world were united with one goal of translating classical knowledge into the Arabic language and were based in the House of Wisdom in Baghdad. This scholarly knowledge was vital to the success of the empires and advancement in new ways. Caliphate refers to the religious and political area that comprises the land, people, and Muslim community under its authority in the centuries after the death of Prophet Muhammad. Caliphs rule caliphates and are the stewards or political and religious leaders within the caliphate. The leadership of the caliphates grew fast due to invasion and conquest during the 1st and 2nd centuries. One of the most significant achievements of the first caliphate was the definitive consolidation of the text of the Quran, which ultimately helped to unite Islam. Abu Bakr was the first man to become Muslim and was elected as leader of the first Islamic Caliphate. He was also the closest personal friend of the Prophet Muhammad during his lifetime. Rashidun Caliphate. This caliphate functioned after the death of Prophet Muhammad in 632 to 661 AD. Rashidun means the rightly guided, and it was the first leadership in the Muslim world in the absence of Prophet Muhammad. All the caliphs that ruled in this dynasty were directly related to the Prophet Muhammad as close companions, or the caliphs were from the same tribe or through marriage. Succession in Rashidun Caliphate was through approval from the Islamic Society. The succession process was determined by the friends of Muhammad, the Prophet. However, the Rashidun Caliphate was not a steady dynasty and had no real way of sustaining itself towards the end because of an emergence of fights and disputes over power and how to rule the dynasty.
The Umayyad Caliphate was the first Muslim caliphate to pass down power to their family. It consisted of two families that descended from a similar ancestor. This type of caliphate ruled the Islamic dynasty from 661 to 750 AD. The Umayyad dynasty rose after civil war and the death of Ali, who was considered their rightful heir according to Shia Islam. North Africa, Spain, and Central Asia were conquered by the Umayyads, further diversifying Islamic culture as new peoples and customs were added to the mix. The Abbasid Caliphate ruled the Islamic dynasty from 750 to 1517 AD. The Caliphate adapts its name from its ancestors, who was known as Al-Abbas, a relative of Prophet Muhammad. It was during the Abbasid period, particularly, that the Golden Age of Islam made significant advances in scholarship and culture. Art, architecture, and literature in the Abbasid period were also culturally important. In addition to scholarship and culture, another defining feature of life under the Abbasids was trade. The merchant class was highly respected, and the size, stability, and good ports of the empire allowed for the free movement of goods. Silks and other textiles, furs, spices, perfumes, dyes, and exotic fruits formed a thriving luxury trade. The slave trade also flourished with both African and European slaves. Although slavery was a somewhat different institution under Islam, and some slaves rose to high positions while remaining slaves.
The Ottoman Caliphate. It was the last caliphate to function during the era of the Sunni Caliphate, and it was under the reign of the Ottoman dynasty. The rulers of this dynasty maintained the caliphal leadership since the conquest of Edirne. It ruled from 1517 to 1924, and through the conquests, it emerged as the protector of the holy cities of Medina and Mecca. These advanced and reinforced the Ottoman Caliphate in the Muslim world. However, the end of the Ottoman dynasty occurred because of slow attrition and losing authority and power to Europe, specifically to Great Britain. Ruling over 1/4 of the entire world, Britain had a serious number of Muslims under it to rule and sought to guard against the power of the Caliph. Britain therefore focused its foreign policy on removing the Caliph, starting from the second half of the 19th century. The British achieved their goal following the Young Turks' revolution in 1908 and then further cemented their gains in World War I. The Young Turks who seized power in the Ottoman state chopped the earthly powers of the Caliphate.